What's up, guys? We're gonna brobeatz. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys some quick melodies you can make that'll save you some time. If you guys haven't subbed already, you'll turn some homage, do so, because those hurt a lot. Let's hop right into it. So BPM 160, and then we just grab in a scale, and it doesn't really matter. Let's do a C minor, okay? And let's go ahead and get started with making our melody. Okay, so here's the piano that I'm using. Some simple. So with this formula, all you have to do is start on the root, and you really don't even have to start on the root. You can start on any note because this works on any scale, no matter, you know, if it's harmonic minor or major, whatever. So what we want to do is place it on a note. We can do the root, and then what you want to do is do a fifth. There's plenty of ways to get there, but if you want to do it manually, you pretty much go up 6 notes and then place. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then place, right? Or you can come up here, do fifth, and there you have it. Okay, so after this, and this is gonna bypass a lot of kind of working around these notes, right? So you want to take this whole thing, hold shift, click and drag, or copy it, and pull this up an octave. Okay, so it should look like this, right? And then to save you a lot of stress and time to kind of, because you could do this, right? You could do something like that. Just fill in everything in between this G5 and this C5, literally everything in between. And what we've just done is pretty much just mapped out all the notes that will sound good. Now you can use other notes, of course, but this is kind of a formula, right? So something that will work every time. So I'm gonna stop it here just so the chapters are, you know, pretty straightforward. You can kind of click through on the parts that you want to see. So now what we're gonna do is go ahead and animate it in the next part. Okay, so now we're gonna animate it, and animating it is pretty much playing it if you click in the notes. Okay, so what we can do is take this bottom note, and pretty much what we're doing here is creating the rhythm, right? Just a simple rhythm to work with. So we're gonna chop this in half and put 2. Probably turn these down a bit more, and then we could take this note right here, right? So like a part of our fifth here, we can shrink this down and just put it halfway through this C. So it's gonna create like a bounce. Right, and this part is very important because you need something to kind of reference from when making this, right? So I'm gonna highlight these, Shift D to make them smaller, and then you can kind of offset these notes however you like. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just put all these here. So just trying to try out a few notes. Right, let's try something like this. Right, and I think that's good to work with for now. So now what we can do is make these longer, and then we can kind of chop it up even more. So we can kind of make, for example, let's try something like this. Right, just kind of add little notes in there. Now you don't have to only use these notes, but this is a formula, right? So it's something that will work every time. So that doesn't mean only do this. You can go outside, right, if you want to. But for this, we can keep it like this, and then we could just copy this over. And then for a little variation, let's take this G and play, because this G should be a part of this chord. So C minor. So we can use this to make sure everything kind of bleeds. I like having these bleed on one another. So it's a little bit, it's not so robotic. All right. Okay, I like that. So what we're gonna do in our next part is pretty much create some variation so this isn't so repetitive. Okay, so let's go ahead and add that variation. So what I do is highlight all this, copy it over, and then what we want to do is just change our bass line. Now you can add other notes at this point if you want, but I want this to be quick, something quick you can do. So from here, you can either go up, so you make a chord upwards, right? So you skip this note place. You can leave it at that. You can pull that down. You can try that note, or you can just leave it. You can kind of leave the bass line like that. And if you like that transition, you can use that. You can go up even more. So you can place this one here, go here, and you can pull it down and see if you like this note. Or you can go backwards. Okay. And then the simple thing is you can just use your ear, right? Simple as that. You can just use your ear. So we could try this one. Okay, I like that. So I'm gonna keep it. So when you find what you like, you can highlight it, pull it over. And then to like a subtle thing you can do to make it seem like it's doing something different is just adding more of the same notes. So when I look down here, I'm like, oh, it's a lot of space. So what I would do is probably just double this like this. And the reason I put it, well, let me zoom in for you. And the reason I put it right here is because if you look at this F, there's already a space occupied right here, but there's nothing occupied right here. And then on this little grid area, the C is playing. So now we can just kind of fit this G in there. So I'm gonna just kind of fix these so they're kind of even. Right, and let's play the whole thing. Right, and it's just enough to make it sound a little bit different. So this is the melody. So now we're just gonna add some counters. Okay, so now we're gonna add some counters. Now this is where it becomes a lot more unique. So if you can remember these notes, so the G, F, D sharp, D, the C, if you can remember these notes, you can have as much fun as you want with the counter, right? So if you just remember those notes, you'll be good. So, right, so if we start at our C, matter of fact, let's go up. Too high. And let's pull the velocity up just slightly. Okay, and then now you can just remember those same notes, the D sharp, D, F, and G. And you can just kind of mess around with some of those notes and see which ones you like. So what I like to do is just keep it simple at first. Do something like this. And then from this note, what you could do is make a chord and you can land back on that G, do something like that. And I'm gonna bring this circle back around to this note and let's see if this F will work with this. Let's just double this up. And then I would mess with the velocity, but I don't want this to take too long. So I'm gonna just leave the velocity how it is. And then what I would do from here is just kind of add like a little note or some notes up here just to make it, copy this and see how this works. Okay, I kind of like that. So I'm gonna zoom in. Okay, I really like that. All right. I kind of want this to drag out a bit. Okay, so I like that. So now let's copy it over. And then let's make a chord out of this. So it's kind of like a different tone when we repeat it. Okay, and then let's make some variation on this side, right? And this is after this is pretty much done, right? You got to keep in mind this is a tutorial, right? Like if I'm doing this off, I'm not recording, right? This is way faster. So from here, let's use this G again. I want to keep this here. Let's see. Now this is doing too much for a counter really, but you know, this is strictly a melody tutorial, so why not do a little extra? So that is our counter. And then now I have like a little extra sound here, so we can go ahead and just use that since we kind of finished up the main melody. All right, so now we have this little custom sound here. And then let's go in, and this can be real quick. So let's start on our G since right here. Right, and we just want to remember those notes. Remember the G, F, G, D sharp, D, and C. So Let's pull this up. Just trying to fix some of these notes, make sure they don't overlap too much. Okay, and then we can copy this over and then maybe change up just a few notes. Okay, so let's try something like this. Okay, simple as that. You can kind of take this wherever you want. Just remember those notes from the beginning, and then this part should be, where are my notes at? Oh, there we go. Just remember these notes. Okay, that's why we did all this in the beginning, so that all of this can be fun, and we don't have to worry about what notes to use. We already know where to go. We just got to worry about the patterns. So that is that. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of effects. All right, so now I'm just go over some effects you can use. Now the pianos are fine because pianos just sound good anyway, but with this synth, we need to kind of blend it in. So I just load up some of these little plugins, and then we turn them on. Now, to get this same effect that I'm using with this custom preset, and you can copy this if you have this plugin, is with the reverb, what you want to do is right here with dry and wet, you want to make the dry equal to the wet. And it'll push it kind of in the background, and it won't make it so like up front. So that's kind of a preset you can use. And then you want to turn this low cut up so the bass isn't making everything muddy. All right, so there's just something you can do there. But here's the preset. It's a custom preset. And then we have just a little delay, just a random delay. Turn the, cut some of the lows out, and this is what it would sound like. And then we would kind of mix it, so we'll take out some of these lows. Just kind of want this to come out a little bit more. And then I'm gonna take kind of this same frequency over here, right, and just pull it down a bit just so this can shine a little bit more. Right, and we can obviously take this further, but it's supposed to be something quick that you can do with low processing and stuff. So that's gonna be it for this video. Hopefully it was helpful. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.